Right now, specifically in America, we're facing a major health crisis with people having major addictions to fast foods, whether you're talking about McDonald's, Burger King, Jack in the Box, Domino's, wherever it is that people love to go. This is a crisis. And honestly, I think this is the type of addiction that can be as bad as as a smoking addiction or a drinking addiction. So I wanted to make this video because this is close to my heart. For those who've been watching know that I've lost 40 pounds. I've lost a lot of weight. Now, in the last few weeks, I'd struggled, you know, going back to working out. I went on vacation, I think middle of July. And ever since I struggled, recently I've been getting back into the gym, getting back into the gym life. But still, I've lost a major amount of weight. And it's really changed my life for the better. But it's also made me reflect on things that I feel like we need to teach in society, especially here in America, where we are facing an obesity crisis. But I honestly think that a large part of this crisis isn't just the fact that people are lazier or the fact that people just love fast food, but the fact that in capitalism, and I'm not talking about capitalism or anything like that, but the way capitalism works, it promotes obesity. It promotes the idea of just letting people kill themselves by eating McDonald's every day. We've promoted this idea in America. And this obviously is happening. I mean, in Mexico, there's another crisis there when it comes to obesity. There's a lot of fat children in Mexico where their cheapest meal that they can get right now is some fucking tacos de bistec. And that shit has heavy amounts of calories. If that's the cheapest thing you can get, then that's dangerous, all right? But fast food here, specifically in America, is a major problem because it's causing obviously obesity, which leads to depression. It leads to hating yourself. It leads to more anxiety. But worst of all, it leads to bad health conditions that are going to end up killing people when they're in their 40s and 30s. And we're normalizing it. And I don't think that's good because I'm going to talk about my addiction with food, and we're calling it an addiction because it's funny because when someone smokes a lot, we're like, that's a bad addiction. When someone drinks a lot, they're like, oh, that's a bad drinking addiction. If someone does anything other, like gambling or anything, we call it an addiction. But with food, we call it just being fat. And that is true. But we do need to start less and less and less normalizing fast food and the patterns of behaviors that we have when it comes to eating. Now, me, when I was in my fattest stage, it was around end of 2021 to basically the rest of 2022. That was when I was at my worst. By the way, sorry if I'm sweating. I actually did just come from a run. But when I was at my worst weight, I was eating fast food minimum 4 times a week, like during the week. And especially because when I get out of work, there's like loads of restaurants. There's a Taco Bell passing by. There's McDonald's, Whataburger, Raising Canes. There's a lot of places passing by when I drive, so I'm always tempted. Like I'm always just like, oh, I want to get, and I would always do that. Like one day it'd be like, oh, I want a burger from Whataburger. Ooh, I want tacos from this one Mexican place nearby, or I would just have that mood and that feeling. And part of that is because when I was younger, it was just kind of taught, fast food is this great food that we all need. And the thing that's different from fast food addiction, and obviously it doesn't just have to be fast food, it can be just you just eating bad foods. Like let's say you're eating, I don't know, 6 bags of hot Cheetos every day, those family sized ones, and that's really bad and you're gonna need some cure for that. But the difference between our addiction when it comes to food and the addiction of cigarettes or alcohol is that food is a necessity. And I believe the reason why people go into this addiction, at least what mine was, is that when we're young, we eat it, and because it tastes so good, it has all those chemicals, the dopamine and everything, it hits us in our brain that this is good food. When I was starting to try to diet, because my whole youth life, I never had to diet. Because I played loads of soccer, loads of basketball, because I was always an outdoors kid, I always burned heavy amounts of calories. Like I always burned loads and loads and loads of calories. And I remember there was times where I would get chubby, but most of the time I would always just be in a decent shape. I'd always be in a good shape. I was never skinny. When I was a kid, I was skinny, but when I was in my teens, I was just kind of like, you got a little chubby in you, but barely noticeable. And that's kind of how I operated as a kid or as a teenager specifically. And what I was talking about was essentially the idea that when we're younger, we eat so much of it, and we make it like the better food, that it affects our brain waves as to what we need. So what I was basically trying to say was, when I was starting to try to diet, I kept failing and failing and failing. And the reason why I kept failing is because immediately I'd go quickly into, I need to eat fruits, vegetables, I need to buy myself a salad, I need to only drink water. But your mind waves and the way your mind works is so shifted to fast food that, to me, when I tried doing that, it didn't feel like I was eating. It just felt like I was eating something that, it felt like I was eating a snack. Like anytime I would try eating a salad, or anytime I would eat a fruit, I'd immediately want to crave the bad food that made me the way I was. I was immediately endured to want to eat the bad foods that I needed. And that's because as at a young age, I ate bad foods that it normalized into my mind that this is what I need to eat. And now that I'm older, now that I've lost 40 pounds, now I know how to operate myself well. I don't need to take out all the foods, but or all the bad foods. I will have fast food occasionally every once in a while, but I have to almost substitute them and still figure out a way, because when I was younger, I didn't know about calories and all that, yada yada yada. And I feel like that's what we need to start teaching the youth and people moving forward in generations, because right now an issue we have is, when you go through a big city, you're going to see fast food everywhere. The food that's most accessible, it's always fast food. And right now that we're in a recession, or we're having any financial issues right now, fast food is always the easiest option. It's quick, it's fast, and it's cheaper. Because not everyone can go to the grocery store and buy all their groceries. Some people will literally depend on buying a meal every day. And not only that, but again, it's easy. You don't got to do it yourself. It tastes really good. And so it's put into your mind that this is what you need. And now it's led to fat children. It's now led to fat adults. It's now led to people who have freaking diabetes before they turn 30. This isn't good. We need to start teaching healthier ways. But the reason why we're even in this issue is because of how much we promoted it. Even in cartoons or movies for kids, every time there's a main character, usually they want to go to a burger joint. Maybe there's an advertising for Pepsi, Coke, honestly, sodas. And look, I'm not a big Ronaldo fan, but there's this one clip that from the Euros 2021 where it was him moving the Coke bottles, and I thought that was a good influence right there. Like, that right there is a good influence. Let's teach people not to drink sodas, because honestly, sodas are the most useless calories ever. Them shits can go up to 200 calories. But the thing is, you don't need, because with a burger or fries or chicken nuggets or whatever, with that, the excuse you got is, hey, if I'm hungry, obviously you can still eat this. But with the soda, it's like, you don't need that. Like, you don't. First of all, it doesn't get you hydrated. Every time I drink every time I drink freaking sodas, I just want water immediately. And it's like, why am I even drinking soda? It's like fucking 200 calories, only for me to still stay dehydrated. But because of that addiction, we're taught early on in our lives that we need this. And so what I'm trying to say is, what we need to start doing in this overweight crisis, because it's a crisis and we really need to start accepting that, is we got to do a couple of things. Number one, we need to start teaching healthier options for kids. I think we should normalize apples, vegetables. And I'm not saying make these kids these six-packed Chris Hemsworth style. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is just substitute some things. Like, for example, in schools, when I went to school, for some reason they always gave chocolate milk. Maybe we shouldn't give kids chocolate milk every morning, all right? Maybe instead get an orange juice or regular milk or water. Let's normalize water. You know how surprised I am that there's people in my life that I never see drink water? I drink water every day, even when I was fat. Or, well, I'm still fat. But when I was at my fattest stage, even then, I would drink water every day. But there's people who I see who will drink a Snapple instead, or a Coke, or a Dr. Pepper, or a lemonade. And it's like, bro, how are you not drinking water? Like, and for some reason, it's always the skinny ass motherfuckers. The skinny ass motherfuckers are always the ones that drink the worst. Like, every alcoholic person I know in my life is always skinny for some reason. It's like, how the hell? But then again, that's probably because they're addicted to that and not to food itself, or either they just don't eat and drink enough of it, which is something that we also got to say. But I think we should teach younger people from a young age to drink water and have healthier options. But I think another thing we also should try to teach more is exercise. And I'm not saying be this six pack shredded Dwayne Johnson looking motherfucker. I'm saying more like, hey, why don't we let kids go have longer recess? I think longer recess. I know if you're a kid watching this video, you're like, hell yeah, Isaac should be principal of my school. But like, I think recess should be a little longer for kids because that's probably the most calories a kid burns at a young age, because when you're a kid you don't care about weight, you don't care about any of this, you don't think about working out or your health or anything. When you're a kid, you're just having fun. And a lot of kids that are in decent shape, a lot of times it's because they're playing soccer or they're playing basketball. Again, to me, my example was when I was a kid, when I was skinny. To me, the main reason why I was skinny was just because I was always outside, I was having fun, and I wasn't thinking about losing weight, I wasn't thinking about how good I look. I was just thinking about, hey, I'm just doing my outdoor stuff, and if I'm not doing that, I'm probably just gonna balloon up to however much weight I was at the time. I don't know, but I think we should teach those. We should also treat it. There should be more proper care. I also think that, and this one's gonna sound unpopular. It's gonna sound unpopular. While I'm a free, loving American, and while I love the First Amendment, I love America, I love God bless America, and I get it, everyone has a right to balloon themselves up to 600 pounds. I honestly believe, and this is a thing that I think could help, is we should tax more on unhealthy foods. But at the same time, make it cheaper and more affordable to get healthier foods. You know, apples, bananas, watermelons, those should be cheaper. Melons should be cheaper. I'd even say wheat bread should be cheaper. I would say a lot of the healthier stuff should be cheaper. Same thing with water. Water, I think it should be the most important thing. Water should be cheaper. While with fast food specifically and unhealthy foods like chips and soda, I think there should be a tax that's higher. So that way you can incentivize people to less want to spend on those unhealthy foods and to more want to spend on the healthier stuff. Because I think that's part of it. Because again, fast food is cheap, it's quick, it's accessible. You can go buy yourself a chicken sandwich from Popeyes for $5. Boom, you're done for the rest of the day. You can go back right now. I can go to the Dollar General near me and buy heavy amounts of Coke. I could buy myself like 2 liters of Coke for $3. I think, or not. It's definitely not $3, but like $5. Pretty good price. And then I can buy myself multiple bags of chips. While if you go to like fucking Panera Bread, it's fucking like $11 for a salad. Like, goddamn, that's more than a fucking meal at McDonald's. Like, you know what I mean? And so I think we need to start doing that. But another thing, and I know I'm now getting late to this, is body positivity. We need to stop with this whole "it's good to be fat" narrative that's going around on social media. It's not good to be fat, because guess what? You're not going to live 10 more years to be able to say that, all right? Because this isn't just, oh, fat people look ugly. No, obviously not. There's beautiful fat people out there, you know. Lizzo, I'm just kidding, obviously. She's not attractive to me. But it's more about health and maintaining a longer life. Especially if you're a parent. Honestly, parents, try to stay healthier. You know, you want to stay there to see your grandkids, you know? Uh, because to me, I think that's what I want to do when I become a parent. I want to, you know, get my kids to want to do exercise, whether it's they want to play football, basketball, whatever. I'm going to try not taking them to eat fast food as often. I think that's one mistake I have with my nephews, where oftentimes I can't cook for them, or I just don't feel like it, that I'll just take them to the fast food joint. That's not a good habit to normalize. But I don't know. I think the body positivity idea that's going on has not helped. And I think, honestly, it might cause more damages. Um, at the same time, though, I will say this, though. Bullying fat people does nothing. Because when I got shit for being fat, it never helped me. Usually, when I would get shit on for being fat, especially when I was at my worst weight, usually that just made me want to eat more. Because some people you have to remember that eating isn't just, oh, it just tastes good. To some people, it's an addiction. It's an addiction to everyone who's fat. But to some people, it's a coping mechanism. It's a dopamine rush that they need. Some people just genuinely feel better when they eat. And so bullying them isn't going to do shit besides maybe encourage them to keep eating. Because I'm seeing that right now. Like, I see a lot of people on the internet thinking, oh, we need to bully fat people because if we don't, they're going to kill themselves. And I do think you should talk, like, especially if you got a fat friend, like, take him to the gym. Maybe you want to be like, hey, I'm going to go to the park. You want to come with me? And obviously we need to encourage it more. That's what I'm saying in this video. But don't bully your friend. It's not going to help. Let me just give you an example. One time when I was at work, this was, I think, in summer of 2022, probably in June or July-ish. Um, I was just at work, and there was this customer, and they just called me fat. They said more than just call me fat, but they said it in like a very aggressive, shitty way that it was like, it was upsetting. I've taught myself to pull back. I've taught myself to push back, and obviously in a job, I'm not gonna risk my job just because one person said something. And what it made me do is, I remember I was frustrated, and I went to a fucking Popeyes. I went to a Popeyes, got myself a chicken sandwich, a biscuit, large fries, and then I went home, and that upset me. That the rest of the night was just me going into my addiction. So what I'm trying to say ultimately in this video is, we need to start treating this like an addiction. Sure, it's not as bad as smoking or drinking, which, by the way, always stay sober. That's part of what I preach on my channel. But at the same time, we have to understand why it is that people do things. Because, people don't choose to want to become smokers or drinkers. People don't choose to do these. I mean, they choose it, but it's almost like a choice that they feel in their mind is necessary. Like, I won't lie to you. Like, before I went for my run, I told myself, hey, today I'm going to have a good day. Because that's what I do. That's what I do when I'm on my diets, is that I'll have one day where I'm like, okay, you can eat this bad meal, you can eat 2 bad meals, and the next day you have to go back into having a good day. Basically means you eat healthy that entire day and that's it. Or sometimes I fast. Today I promised myself I was gonna have a good day, but I started off this morning eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal, which is not a sponsorship, but obviously that's bad. Cereal, by the way, cutting cereal, do that. Cereal is like some empty ass calories. Basically cut every empty calorie. I don't know. But anyways, I think we need to treat it as an addiction. And for those people who are looking to lose weight, all I gotta tell you is find a workout you like. For me, my favorite workout is jogging. I jog every day in the morning for 2 hours. That burns 1,000 calories. That's my favorite workout, and I do it every day, and it's helped me a lot. At the same time, also find fruits you like. Like, my favorite fruit is watermelon. I will literally buy watermelons every week, and then during the week, I eat that as snacks. Find a fruit you like, find vegetables you like, cut out sodas and juice. But at the same time, you don't have to go completely, like, if you, like, for me, I eat sandwiches almost every day. I won't lie to you, but what I do now is I cut out mayonnaise and I eat wheat bread, and that's helped me significantly. That's helped me a lot. Try to find good influences around you. It's not always ask questions. Go on YouTube, find a workout you like. I honestly, and also if you're working out, find a good podcast. That really helped me. Finding a good podcast, because what it does is it almost makes you focus on the podcast more than you're working out. So what happens is you want to be able to finish that podcast, that it causes you to want to work out more. So when I'm bench pressing, usually I'm listening to a podcast and I'm not even realizing how much I'm bench pressing because I'm so interested and invested in the story that I'm listening to. So there's a lot of things. Honestly, if you guys ever have questions for me, my Instagram, Twitter, and Discord are all three are linked description, or you can ask me in the comment sections. I know I'm still not at the best weight, but at the same time, you also have to remember that this is a marathon, not a race. And if you watch my videos from basically before October, you will see that there's been a major change, and I'm happy with myself. So I feel happier. I feel more positive. And now I like giving conversational speeches to people who like to watch my channel also. Wearing Barca shirt, been wearing it for my workouts these last 2 days, I think. So remove this shirt. This shirt actually smells like ass right now. So anyways, that's all I gotta say. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you like more of these kinds of videos, make sure to comment down below. Let me know. Smash a like button, subscribe, do whatever it is you gotta do. So make sure you stay sober, stay sexy, and live in the now. And if you're new to the channel, thank you for being here. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Ciao.
Got me fucked up. I need your love. I just want